Alright, and we are now live, folks. There's nothing but endless waters. And from this from this waters, sprung the first of the gods, this Neith. After help weaving the world into creation, she decided to take up hunting. To feed and clothe her followers. And after doing so, she ended up teaching them how to do it. So, yeah, take it that, patriarchy. Can I get a what from the country girls? Anyways, she did when the people started dying from disease, old age, and war. She set down her bow and her arrows and picked up some thimbles and thread, and decided to hone her skills in crafting shrouds to protect the dead as they travel down the Nile to the underworld. Which, for some reason, she was very poor at because they wound up leaving broken threads that wove throughout the world, allowing her to see the intricacies of fate left by these woven broken weaves. And with that, we have now are heading to our next god, folks, and that is Neith. That we'll learn for beginning players. She's one of the 2 hunters you have access to, and one I would highly recommend you pick up first. She has a relatively low skill floor when learning her kit because it's mostly simple, and her abilities require a little more finesse. But in that, lemon squeezy. So let's get started, shall we? To start, talk about her third ability, or passive. Then we'll go to her third ability. Ha! Just kidding, folks. Bad puns. I got them for days. Alright, so what her passive is called is Broken Weave. Whenever an enemy gets a small particle effect on Broken Weave does absolutely nothing on its own. Your first and your second ability. With that, let's go next ability, which is her third ability is called Backflip. It calls her to do as it says. Backflip. And the reason why I'm telling you this ability first and foremost is because when you activate it, it will leave behind a broken weave at the point of where you took off from. This is the broken weave, this little glowy particle. As I mentioned, it will last for 1 minute. Now, her backflip not only helps her escape, but also directly... Let's see if I can remember it, folks. Can I remember it? That's the question. And the answer is yes. Yes, I can remember. It has a base of 80 damage plus 80% of... it does a base of 80 plus 80% of your physical power as damage. Not only that, it will also apply a 20 slow to the victim. And the slow lasts for 2.5 seconds. Now, for each point you give you a increased power and increased duration. Point, mind you. 240 plus 80% of your physical power as damage, and a 4.5. This is all on a cooldown, mind you, and I always would give you the cooldowns without. Next thing you want to know is we're going to move to her first ability, her spirit. Well, before actually spirit, let me mention one. The degree cone, the damage kind of ends in an arc and point. That's where the weave will ability. A line shot that dealing damage, and the damage dealt 90 plus no power as damage, and it'll apply 1.2 seconds root for each point you put in, and it's all on a 15 second. Into this ability, when you level it up, will increase the damage max out at 350 plus 90% of your physical power, and correction, root. Doesn't prevent them from smashing abilities or attacks. If you hit a broken weave with this ability, oh, terrible. I didn't time that. Let's do it this way. If you hit this ability, if you hit the broken weave, oh, before we get to that, this spear arrow will also go not only through enemies' walls, any player made or an environment. Aim it at your broken weave circle right here. It's a 20-foot circle. What this would do is an additional 100% basically to the victim in the circle. Pop. Now. That right there is what it does. It will do 100% of that addition. Apply the root to damage and root them. Now, if you didn't know, what happened was when I used this ability in conjunction with my broken weave, if you properly aim it right, if they're close enough, you can not only the arrow itself, but you can also end up tapping them with the weave. It's with weave bombing. So in case you ever wonder what they mean by that, players mean by that, that's what they mean. Now, having my genders crossed here. Her second ability is called 55-foot range ability, and this ability will deal 70 plus 80% power as damage. Do that, it will also apply in that 20-foot circle. Also apply to the victim's buff. 2 seconds, and this and in addition, on top of that, it will also heal you of your physical power as health returned to you on a 15-second cooldown. Now, mind you, 15, 15, 15, and when there's good, I want you to keep that in mind for the moment. Now, what ended up happening is after that, I went with oh crap! I thought traveling people. I need to catch that runaway thread. Get back here! Get back here! Okay, so to the loom here at hand. Let's go with the threading. Now, if you use unwrap broken weave, it will not. What you'll get is the healing. So instead of 20 physical power returned to you as health, 40 plus 30% of your physical power is returned to you as health. Oh, and I forgot something. Now, the thing to understand is, now, mind you, heal you for up to 3 targets affected by this ability. However, if it all weaves in the area of the ability, will be used up. So there's no limit to how much heal you can get from the weaves. Oh. You can also regain health not only weave, but also from the 3 targets. You can maximize your heal. Manage to use this ability on 3 victims near a broken weave. That's it. So well, I can't actually show it here to its full extent, but I will in the practice rate. Your 4th ability is called War Weaver, and this is your hardest hitting ability on the longest cooldown possible. So, what? Crap. Sorry, folks. Interruptions. Gotta love them. Okay. Now we're done dealing with interruptions while we're threading. Hopefully I didn't sting my finger too much with the needle. Let's get back to the point at hand. Ha! Needle point. Like I said, once, I got him. Okay. So the ability deals 230 damage plus 120% of your physical powers. It applies at 1.5. Now this ability will pass obstacles to whatever. The thing is, it will hit enemy got hit. Now, what you need to understand is this ability makes you assume a sniper position, and you will start charging up your shot. Now, position you move, but so be aware when you use this ability, because if you use this in a team fight, you will find yourself and basically trying to untangle that knot. Now we're dealing with fabrics of the thing to loose this ability early, though, do less damage. Mind you, you have to charge it fully to get the full damage. However, if you release it early, it will do the less damage. This allows you to do a great amount of teams, either helping a teammate escape, help a team take an enemy god, to finish off a limping opponent. For you to target an enemy god with this ability, a teammate has to have line of sight of the god that you want to shoot at. However, as long as one maintains line of sight on him, you will be able to shoot on the map, period, regardless of the map size. And that's pretty much his work. Now let's go show our off, shall we? Now let's get back to the next part, folks. So, oh, apparently it kicked me out of the server. That's awesome. No big deal, folks. We'll log back in and we'll get back to the work in the practice jungle. Hopefully you enjoyed the spectacular fail that is, you know, trying to do this video. Alright, let's get to the practice arena. This is what... Now, folks, I don't know if I said this in my other videos, but this is what I fondly recall my lab. This is how I do my test builds, and when new gods get released, this is how I practice them. So I know what I'm getting into before I get myself into it. It's a great way, because you don't want to try sewing before you actually at least attempted a few tries without the needle. Very painful. Might get tetanus. Maybe. Depending on how rusty the needle is.
Neith.
Doop, 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 get my sewing on. Stitching up for a living. Hey, you know what? I might as well be a field medic with it. You know what? That would be a great way for them to amp up her the awesomeness of her kit. You know, stitching up people. You know.
This should be fun.
Alright, now, just to give you folks a heads up on some things. I want to know about Neith, especially for beginning. The way you could build her is astonishingly varied. You can go a full-on ability-focused build, you can go on a full auto-attack focused build, or a hybrid build of auto-attack, not focusing on both at the time. What I'm going to do, because as a hunter, I want to be able to, you know, work out those, do damage to the objectives as much as possible, which is, you know, as a role as your Neith, that's kind of, I mean, a hunter in general, that's what your role usually tends to be. This is why also an easy guide, because this also gives you to easily build this particular.
Wow, you may soon reach enlightenment.
Now we got that part, how you can build her. How many different ways you can build her out of the build dependent to other hunters and dependent player.
I couldn't
like that.
have been more proud.
Even with that little lag. Guava. I don't know what guava is. Anyways.
You will have a
So cool.
To intents and purposes, she more heavily rely on the skill of the player rather than you want to be doing well. Because if you're not, kills. Hence why be able to
have reached your portal.
ah, crap. Now, fun thing about her, like I said, since you're a hunter built, her abilities are, if you plan to go full-on auto-attack builds, there's understand, and even before you full auto-attack, you understand something. Let you know, and I will emphasize this quite a lot, and I want to drill for you newer Neith players, never ever backflip a grand start of the match. For a simple reason, your escape. There's no other way around that. I'm flat out telling you folks that. It is your only form of escape when the situation gets dragged. Your only form of escape. You got cooldowns, or if you're not even gotten cooldowns, period. Straight on, only use it as escape. That's it. If you try using it for aggressive plays, you're at least in a well coordinated with. Because if you're not, you would get unwrapped faster than a candy bar. Well, candy bar. I'm gonna say faster than a fat kid in a candy shop, but not to be offensive. You know how it. You know how it goes, folks. Sometimes you try to be real PC so you don't offend people, and you realize, you know what? Forget it. Time to wrap some truth right there. I will say about using a like I was right there. You can use this. Watch this. Boom. Snipe. Kaboom. Now the Neith can be played as either an ability-based god or basic attack god or a mixture of both. It's because she is one of the 5 or 6 hunters I can name off the top of my head that have some of the highest power scalings for their abilities.
Watch your step.
Some of the highest. Remember that. Some of the highest physical power scalings. Alright. I'm build going. And we could probably go with chin size. Go with Crusher. I like Crusher usually because she is I'm boom. Saw that, folks? Did you see that? That is one of the main ways you can use your backflip to run on someone and see what shot. If you can manage just by using shot. I know it. I understand this. Also, that not only she, like I said, so that's how she works as you can build her as how high a focus on her abilities, raw damage, because you're gonna find yourself low to as I do here, because the fact is,
That is so cool.
first abilities except for her ult cooldown. There's extensive cooldown right there for not for not having cooldown reductions, and her ultimate has a 90.5. So you want to at least or allies killing with the with her. If you know you can probably finish them off as long as you're not gonna get easily just hit the backflip and turn the tails while they're trying to double around to get back to you. Backflip aggressively, and if they were using it, be done with it. Because that's the way you can get yourself hurt in a fight. Reductions. Or I'm getting 15 seconds, 12 seconds. Cooldown reductions. Oh, I didn't realize it. Huh, I was just having too much fun explaining this thing to you guys. And, well, as your saying goes, boom! She plays well like a supportive sniper. If you maintain your distance and lay down the damage, you'll be helping out your team. Don't go for kill, because then you won't be causing your. See, this is what I'm talking about using your backflip aggressively. I didn't have caught right there.
Wait for me.
All right, where's that? Boom.
Rampage! Shut down!
Hmm.
Nice.
Now, needs a tidbit of is that her backflip, you can aim it. That if you turn the aim, actually get, you can so that way you can the direction you will always land facing the direction you were ability. Now you see 9 seconds, much of a difference. Seconds difference. Now instead of every 15 seconds, or my backflip. And not be worried about, and just keep and move on. Won't have to worry about getting wrecked. Look at that team setup right there. See what I said about how much damage she has on her ability? See, look at that, plus 240. That's your alone. Well, naturally, but still damage for you to be doing with an escape ability. On a Neith escape alone. Boom! I got back too from what I just showed.
Triple kill!
Woohoo!
Wait for me.
Look at that. And he's only gonna get away with so little health, but not happening. See, boom.
Double kill.
Watch
An
your
ally has been slain.
Well, he got out of the way. That happened. And with that, the little tidbits I can give you. So to weave it all into one condensed thought, now this condensed thought, I want you to wear like a T-shirt proudly. That way you can always have it memorized. Do not use aggressively until you got cooldowns. If you don't plan on using cooldowns, always use it defensively, never offensively, to set up.
You have slain an enemy. Drink this
Not only that, remember, that's one thing.
Your portal.
Remember, your ultimate requires a line of sight, so make sure that at least someone has a line of sight. If not, don't worry about it, don't fret over it, don't bother trying to snipe it. Another thing, make sure you remember that your ultimate also requires your wind-up. And the other thing you need to know about stuff is in the description department, as I stated before. That's why I do that part for.
Let's play a little.
Now, as I said, do not use a back foot aggressively. What the enemy team is building, and what their team. I don't know how much I can stress this. About the basics of Knoweth thy God, where I went over the basics you need in any god. Period. I want to knit this into your memory completely.
An ally has been slain. You have
Your build, always build to what you're fighting against. Counter build is a must, folks. Oh, come on, find me. Come on. Come on. I have to do to get you guys to chase me so I can do that stylized stuff. And I finally got shot there. Like, okay. Ways. Know what the runs did. Don't try to think that your build is the only thing that... See, like that. So you notice how the Guardian and the Warrior that built at least a good amount of protection. That's why I got Titans. Normally, if I need bid building, so I can provide the anti-heal for my team. Always make sure you just keep those thoughts in mind. Or I would have just built Toxic Dagger instead, actually. Actually, I would have put Toxic Dagger instead. So I still would have had the attack speed necessary to go with what I had. Now, that being said, ends the tutorial. This sewing lesson with Neith, the Weaver of Fate. If you liked the video, please subscribe, like, and also hit the notification bell. If you want to catch me on, if you have any questions, you can always leave a comment in the section below. I'll try answering it. If not, and if you want to try to get a hold of me on Twitch, I do broadcast on twitch.tv/Scobit. I will put it in the description below. Game on and be excellent to each other.